What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome to an episode of Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds. So this is a new game that is done by Studio Ghibli and L5, I think it is, Studios, and produced by Netmarble. If you've played any of the previous Ni no Kuni games, then you pretty much know what to expect. You pretty much got a Sword Art Online kind of environment, atmosphere going on, while having a lot of stuff to do. So it's pretty much, you know, it's the same Ni no Kuni that you've probably come to love, enjoy, expect if you're a fan of the game. If you're not a fan of the game, then over a few videos I'll probably end up producing for the game, you'll kind of get to see exactly some of the stuff that you have. What I want to jump in while I talk to this is some of the actions and available. Basically, it plays the way you would expect most games to play. It is a gacha game, that there are microtransactions, and expect this game to be even more microtransaction heavy than previous titles or any title that you probably expected, because it's probably one of the first titles you probably jumped into that has actually NFT blockchains inside of it. Yep, it's there, so expect that full ride. So you can see what's available inside the Gacha Shop, and this is probably going to be the most important aspect for any game, whether or not it's free to play accessible or, you know, pay to win accessible. Any game that has microtransactions is going to be highly pay to win. But let's take a look inside the shop real quick. So basically, inside the shop, there's going to be a number of buffs and things like that that you can purchase. The good thing is that these straight dollar value costs are not really relatively expensive, depending on how much fun you have in the game and what you're intending on buying. To get a true evaluation of what they are, it's a little bit of a mixed bag there, because you gotta it's kind of hard to set the market, you know, 2-3 days into a game to see what the availability of some of these items are through drop rates and stuff like that or whatever. But I can say this is the really weird part for me. Okay, so let's take a look at the basic shop, which includes just your normal diamonds and everything that's inside here. I don't like it. I've literally been a proponent of, you know, dollar to value ratio, and I don't find it funny. I don't find it unique. I don't find it whimsical when we essentially have video games setting a market currency that equates our dollars to lower than their in-game currency. Let me repeat that for you. If the money to the fake money is not equitable, then it's not funny. It's not a good thing. And in this sense right here, Ni no Kuni is evaluating your dollar less than Marvel Future Revolution is. Basically, your in-game currency, 40 of your in-game currency is equal to 99 cents or $1. So it's essentially less than half of your dollar is equated to in-game world currency. There is no place in the real world that this works. Like, for instance, if I take my dollar to someplace else in the world, in the real world, and buy real items, then I use this same equivalency, this same exchange. If you compare the European Union to the American dollar, typically the EU is worth a little bit more, like $1.20 to the American dollar. You took your dollar to, you know, Japan, you know, and the yen. You took your dollar to Mexico and the peso. You took your dollar to Brazil and the real. You took, I've traveled, so I understand equivalency exchange. And what we're talking about here is an equivalency exchange inside a video game that just doesn't work, where we're basically saying that my dollar in a video game world purchasing fake video game items is equal to less than half. You go find that somewhere else in the world and let me know. And that's just me looking at this from the American dollar value perspective, right? That's not even me comparing the EU dollar or something like that. But 40 diamonds for 99 cents, and then you can see the way that, you know, that increases and so forth. Nah, my friends, no thank you. So the shop is pretty terrible in terms of, you know, your crystal evaluations and stuff like that. Now, there are items inside here, and that's where you tend to get to see, you know, exactly what you're purchasing, and you can start trying to equate things based on those crystal purchases that your dollar already is equal to less than half of what the in-game currency is. And in that regard, I cannot suggest that this is a game that you invest your money into right away. Don't do it. Don't do it. Remember, now this is also a first impressions video, so I'm giving it to you there. Now you can look over here, for instance, and you can see that there's a check-in pass that's happening, you know, for the next 14 days inside this game. I am playing pretty much free to play. I don't mind the check-in pass. They're giving away some decent rewards, I guess, in terms of what you need in order to level up equipment, like, you know, your equipment, your familiars, and you know, that's pretty much all you're really doing there. And then they have this premium check-in pass that's available here for $20. You're basically getting 20 pulls for familiars, 10 equipment pulls, another 5, another 5, another 10, and then some here. Now you can get the crystals as well, and these are the most important things over here, is that these are unlocking tomes that are basically skills. And this is the part that I don't like, because now what we have inside a game like Ni no Kuni is they're microtransactioning the sell of skills, right? Meaning that, like, if I took my character inside here and I was to take a look at like the character skills that I have over here, so I have 3 different tiers of skills inside a character. We have your class specific skills, which are here. Then we have your special skills, and you can see there's a laundry list of them there, right? And then you can see your passive skills, and they're all here, right? So now I've been playing in these. I haven't purchased anything in this game yet, so be aware of that. The 1180 crystals I have, they were all generated basically through, you know, play. And I've unlocked all of these skills based on tomes that they were given to me. You know, special skills, I haven't come across another one yet. I'm at about level 35, so I've got these 2 skills that's there. So the skill, this is the static field skill that's going to be available if I was to purchase that check-in pass for the 14 days. It would give me that tome at the end. I don't like the idea that they are selling skills to players through passes and through, you know, through the shop. It doesn't make sense. It's one of those microtransaction laden things, right? So those are those things that you have for the skills. You see what I'm saying by the shop is always, anytime you play a game, you should be taking a look at the item shop. The shop is always going to be a barometer for everything else in the game, for you to understand the importance of all the inlaying pieces, because it's always going to come down to the shop. Because it's almost like the shop is developed first, and then we go, how can we monetize shit inside there, right? So those are the conditional perks that's in there, and you can see at day 14, you basically unlock the Magic Tome Static Field, which is a pretty powerful skill because it applies stun, 85% attack of light damage if you're using light damage as well. Those are the check-in passes. We also have the daily adventure passes that you can purchase. So you can see right here, instantly you're given 400 crystals, right? And then you can see you're given a basic AI mode time, and that AI mode time is tied to somewhat of the NFT, the blockchain thing, because you can do farming for Territe and whatever there. Yeah, it's a whole thing that you would have to get into. And then we can see that daily we're getting crystals, 40 crystals a day. So and that's for $7.99 that you get that. It's a 28-day subscription. You also get these movement speed perks, the 6 hours of AI mode time, the daily bonus for diamonds. So overall you're looking at 40 times 30. That's I'm bad at math. I'm so freaking terrible at math. That's what is it, 1200 crystals for a 28-day cycle, right? For $7.99. So that's not necessarily too bad. Plus the 400 means 1600. So this is actually not a bad deal, if I had to be honest with you. How this AI time works, that's going to be even more. Then we've got a daily premium pass for $19.99 inside here, and you can see that you've got the aroma of focus, the energy drinks, the diamonds are 120 a day for 28 days. So let's just say 30, and I can't do that goddamn math. These daily and the bottom line of the daily adventure, the daily premium packs at $7.99 and $19.99 are highly worth it if you plan on being an avid player of Ni no Kuni. Definitely, you know, it's a game subscription basically, like, you know, so I don't mind playing games. Like, for instance, I play Final Fantasy A Realm Reborn, and that has a monthly subscription of $15 that I have no problem paying. I pay for that even when I don't have days even when I don't play that game for months, and I still keep it running because I just enjoy the game and being able to come back and enjoy the benefit of all those buffs that I was collecting from the time that they're. So these are good subscriptions in the fact that if you do collect them, they're going to give you access to these daily crystals. That $19.99 compared to the $1,400 right there. Most players will look at that. I wish it was $2,000, and we moved on from there. But that's a good deal. The daily aroma, you're basically using these to basically increase your ability to defeat enemies in the chaos fields. That's where you're doing your farming, and normal fields and stuff like that. So this is good right now. It's only for 30 minutes, but that's a good thing. And then you get your energy drinks that's going to be used as well in order to help out with that. So these are good. This is a good overall skill. I wouldn't say that this is not a bad skill. Like the daily adventure, the daily premium, and check and pass. If you plan on playing Ni no Kuni, these are good deals inside there right now. So that's the conditional. We've got some bundle packages inside here, and these bundle packages and things like that are going to be highly dependent upon the things that you need and how you equate those and you value them. So like for instance, these varnishes and things like that, you'll need those to level up your equipment, and equipment is pretty important in the game. I'm trying to decide, to be honest, whether or not your equipment is more important than your familiars, or your familiars are more important. At this point, it feels like your familiars are more important to me. And Ni no Kuni is like largely centered around familiars, but you'll basically collect equipment, and you have 5 different weapon types across the game: water, dark, fire, earth, and then you have light as well. And each of those items are going to you're basically going to need to level up those weapons specifically in order to deal damage to counter type damage to specific enemies and bosses inside there. The inventory, I haven't had a problem yet with managing the inventory, so long as you're doing management of your gear and stuff like that in terms of like leveling up and making the polishes. So hopefully that's not going to be a thing, but we'll see. I still haven't even unlocked things like the gems and stuff like that inside here, but it's there. Your familiars are going to be a large portion of what you do inside the game. You are going to collect a lot of these freaking familiars and these little things over here that help you level up your familiars as well. So the more familiars you collect is actually a cool thing, because you actually have a thing called a farm or a forest, right? And when you go to your forest, depending on the familiars you have, I'm not sure what level your familiars have to be in order for it to start. Like I said, I'm still experiencing Ni no Kuni. I've had my girlfriend plays Ni no Kuni on her thing, but I'm not a Ni no Kuni player. But basically you get available gifts here that your familiars will give you at 2 a.m. and they're actually pretty good gifts, because the gifts that they give you actually are things that will help you level up your character. So that's why the reason why, like, your equipment is a straight up a reflection of your CP score, while your familiars will give you gifts and level up your CP score. And that's the reason why I say they seem to be a little bit more important. Now you can also hatch familiars as well inside here, and they're like on a 2-hour schedule. I don't know if it changes, but you can see like a history of what I've done, and you can have like a wish tag as well for like the type of familiar you want to get from there as well. So it's kind of cool. I like the idea of the summons. It's definitely very Pokemon-ish. So yeah, there's a whole inventory of records and things like that to power up, and this is where I'm talking about your familiars will give you stuff, because you can pair out these trees so that way you can beef up your character more. And you need these heart stars, and these heart stars are given to you in game, and they're given to you by your familiars at 2 a.m. if you are treating them well. So get into that. So let's get them back inside the shop real quick. So inside the shop, we basically did the basic shop, right? You can also purchase other items outside. Well, let me go back to this before I get back into that. So we had the conditional perks, the bundles, and then the basic shop, and then the featured items. So you can look across here, and immediately I'm happy about seeing that inside the shop that there are bundles in here that are not overpriced. You know what I mean if you've played Marvel Future Revolution. So essentially inside here for $1.99, I can get 5 summon tickets with about 70 crystals. and then I can get some custards and, you know, some gold and stuff like that inside there, right? And if it's $7.99, I can get 5 and 15 and so forth like that. Now the really cool thing is I don't care what you get from the shop, it's going to help your CP score. You know, if you unlock you know, familiars, you unlock weapons, all of that stuff can be used to help you. So it's not one of the situations like in Marvel Future Revolution where you go like, man, I'm fucking screwed because I got nothing. You know, like, no, you're gonna get something with the shop inside here that is going to ultimately help you. And you can see the tiers going up. Notice that what you don't see is you don't see any $44.99 stuff that's just immediately jumping out to you in the featured shop. Pay attention to that Marvel Future Revolution. Nobody wants to see that shit. Like, nobody wants to see $44.99 in a game. You literally, most people can buy full-on games for $44.99. The idea is to nickel and dime me, not to fucking fleece me. It feels like a stick-up, a robbery, right? So be aware that all of this stuff is kind of important too, because like I said, the large majority of your time is spending collecting things to level up your gear, your mounts, your familiars, your equipment. You spend the majority of time managing those activities, all right? All right, so that's the shop. Now inside the shop there is also going to be some other items that you can make purchases for. For instance, you can see there's varying starter packs of varying costs, but you can see largely, to be honest with you, largely these packs are pretty decent. Like, you know, nothing's really leaps off at the table at you just like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, nothing's really getting at you to be like, you know, this is just ridiculous. There's even a free-to-play diamond rebate shop inside here. So basically you purchase for 1,600 diamonds, you purchase it and then you get diamonds, right? So like, it's weird because you'll end up with a little bit more diamonds than your 1,600 that you spent on the investment, while also collecting some other items. Inside the basic shop there are other currencies inside the game as well. So for instance, you can see these black diamonds. And there you go, you see that, right? Okay, you see that, right? Okay, so if you're not into blockchain and NFT stuff like that, then you know that's sort of where you're going down that rabbit hole with those kind of things. So just be aware of that stuff. Be aware of that stuff, that there is blockchain stuff inside here. It is the topic of conversation across a lot of games. Netmarble is leaning heavy into it, so expect that other games like Seven Deadly Sins Origins on its release is, you know, it's going to probably follow similar models. So now let's get into the meat potatoes of the game, so that way we can talk about that and wrap up with things. Remember, it's your gear, and to be honest with you, I don't know what it is. This is not my type of game, not my ball of, you know, energy. But for some reason, I'm having fun with the characters. I'm having fun with the Pokemon aspects. Gotta collect them all and everything. And it has a very good gameplay loop. So for instance, we can join the kingdoms, which is basically your guilds and so forth like that. You know, you contribute to defense of the kingdom and stuff like that. So you can see like we got an invasion that's going with Legion of Ignia. So these are the rewards that you would get from that, the recommended water title and stuff like that. So these are they're actually pretty decent. There's also war between kingdoms. You have a dominion, which is a land that's maintained by the kingdom to level up your stuff. It's an actual area in which you can go to. So for instance, I'll go to the check-in board and you can actually see that we're actually building out a domain here, right? Meaning that it's not just a look menu. There's actually a domain for our dominion here, and I can look around in our dominion. We can see different things that are here, different shops and so forth. It's actually pretty decent, right? So that's your dominion stuff inside here. Next up, we've got different missions. So dailies are here, you know, activities that they want you to complete on a day-to-day basis, which actually rewards you with items such as hatch eggs and stuff like that, or whatever, for familiars, stars, you know, dream shards and things like that used to birth familiars. Little items in here like territe. So there's power-up content. You need that territe, bro. You need them territes. And even like recipes to craft armors and stuff like that, because yes, you can. We also have weeklies, you know, things for using like taming a familiar, using energy drinks, completing daily activities, completing bounties. Those are all in here in order to provide you some direction. Now, outside of your normal story missions and trying to complete your dailies and your weeklies, you have reputation missions that will increase your reputation in specific areas. So like the Nameless Kingdom, I'm at grade 2. You know, you can go higher than that if if it if it allows you to get to grade 3, and basically at each grade you get rewards. So for instance, you can see here at getting to grade 3, I'll get a re-potion. Now most of this is pretty easy to do. You'll end up completing this just from doing most of the story quests, so have at it. It's you know, it's fairly fun and easy, to be honest with you, and it's kind of integrated into the system well. You also have handbooks, which kind of like, you know, generate and give you a direction for where you should be doing things. So for instance, you see equipment, familiars, and kingdom. I'm almost done with my equipment handbook, and I'm kind of, you know, yeah. You get what I'm saying? So like for instance, they want me to complete the fire temple. So I want to actually get into that kind of stuff as well, because outside of this, we actually have challenges. So your challenges are your PvE content realistically, and then your battlefield is, yeah, you guessed it, your PvP content, right? So inside your challenges, you have a number of daily things that you can do. You can do your power-up events, which includes the familiar's cradle, which is going to give you evolution material for your familiars. You have the fire temple, where you can generate things, upgrade material for your weapons and equipment. And then Goldbeard's pirate ship is going to allow you to farm and harvest gold. This is actually pretty good, right? Because it gives you a general direction for your basic daily needs that you need, that you want in order to level up your character. Outside of your power-up missions, you have the chaos fields. Inside the chaos fields, this is going to be largely where you're going to be able to collect drop items and kind of get into that, you know, farming. So you can be AFK and farm these areas, and you'll end up generating, you know, things like these magic tomes and, you know, other items like the fire magic pages and stuff like that or whatever, so that you can increase your levels. So depending on your you know, your CP and stuff like that, whatever your rating is, you can go in there and you're gonna face off bosses like that, and you can just leave that for a set amount of time. Now you can see I haven't unlocked, this is not here for Sky Pirate Shippy. The shipyard, excuse me, haven't unlocked that. Outside of that, we've got your dimensional border kind of events that are going in here. So this is like Natrum's Nest, and this basically amounts to like what I would consider this to be is sort of like a Marvel Future Revolution, where we have the daily blitzes, but it's a little bit more engaging that, because you're gonna match up with a party. Other parties are gonna, excuse me, this is different. You're gonna match up with a party, and you go inside that party, and you guys get 30 minutes in order to defeat, you know, this field boss. I don't want to spoil the story. And then you have some of these rewards that are available to you. I haven't gotten any of these. I got like this and this right here, and then I got one of these. I didn't get a book. I didn't get any 4-star earrings. I wish I had got that, right? But it's an actually fun, enjoyable event, because you go in there and it's actually combat that is not AI driven. That's not to say that you couldn't AI it, but I don't think that you're going to want to try to AI it. And not to mention, it's a little bit fun, so I left it there. Outside of that, we've got some things in here like some dungeons that you can play in solo challenge, which are labyrinths inside the game. So basically you go inside these labyrinths and you're basically clearing items out. As you clear out the labyrinths, you're going to be given rewards. So XP, some level up materials for, again, your, you know, the main components of what you're supposed to be doing. So this isn't like specifically like, hey, I need to get, you know, it's like, you know, you go in there and you're doing it, and it's not a matter of, well, I didn't get this badge that was going to be 115, 120. This is just upgrade materials for the stuff that you already have. So that's a really cool upgrade path. I really actually enjoy the labyrinths. Then we got some stuff in here like adventures. The adventure is really cool. I don't know why this shit is so cute and so interesting to me, but it is. Hate me for you all you want to, but basically you can send your matter of fact, I'll just show it to you. It's easier that I show it to you. So for instance, over here you can see my man looking like I don't know what that bat is in Pokemon, but that's what he looks like, right? So you can see over here I can dispatch, is what it's saying. I can dispatch my familiars to fight these familiars. So basically it's a Pokemon battle, right? And I can use my Sudoku and anything else inside here I want to. So I'm going to use my Sudoku, and I'm going to use, I don't even know what this character's called because I can't remember when I got it, right? But you can go in here now, and basically this becomes a Pokemon battle. Like, no shit, right? Straight up Pokemon fights. So you can see I got 2 on offense, 4 on defense. I'm feeling very confident about my suit, fucking these dudes up, right? I'm gonna have to, when I do videos for Ni no Kuni, I'm gonna probably have to tone my language because this is a very kid-engaged game, so excuse me for that, right? But basically, you see what it is there. We basically had a Pokemon battle, right? Like, that's essentially what it was. It's a Pokemon battle. A lot of fun though, and you can see basically I get a wild familiar clear, and because of that I got some rewards inside here. You can see that there's also these items over here as well where you can dispatch, and there's going to be more. So for instance, these are very weak enemies over there, so I can dispatch over here. You can see there's a number of tickets that I have for these as well. And now I can come inside here and I'm like, okay, we could. I hate that we're gonna beat up Stitcher, man, because I like Stitcher. I cannot remember the anime. Glepnir. That's the name of the anime, Glepnir. He reminds me of the character from Glepnir. Check out that anime. It is crazy, man. It is absolutely insane to me. but there you go. So you can have things like that, and you can see I'm generating resources now because I deployed my whatchamacallit over here. So now I'm collecting resources like gold specifically from mining this area for the next 5 minutes or whatever. So that is actually pretty cool, right? Like, I enjoy the feel that a lot of the stuff is contributing to things that I already have. So even inside here, we've got the field bosses that are available to you. They spawn at specific times of the day. So for instance, I can't do these three because they're too high level for me. But like the lower level field boss that's inside here, the fallen Cockatrial, he'll appear in 2 hours and 22 minutes, but he has specific times that he appears in. So like 5 a.m., 11, 1700, that's 5 o'clock, and then at 11 o'clock at night he'll appear, and I can go in here and I can fight him with other players, and there's a tier reward system inside the game. So that way you can generate items like, necklaces. I actually got a mighty necklace from there, and then some of these things, and it's going to basically be dependent upon ranking and stuff like that, the level of rewards you get, but it's fairly rewarding. Now, there was some problems with World Boss. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm still not at 38 in order to complete that, so I'll have to let you guys know about that in the future or whatever when I am. I do plan on bringing you guys some Ni no Kuni content. I think I'm going to largely stay free to play inside this game. If I do purchase anything, I'll let you guys know. I really can't see purchasing anything outside of these adventures, the daily and premium adventures, if I'm being 100% honest. But that's going to be dependent upon whether or not my girlfriend ends up enjoying this game and I enjoy this game, whether or not I want to stick around the long haul to play it. The really cool thing that I find about Ni no Kuni Crossworlds, and this is not a hit against Marvel Future Revolution, is that this is day one release and the game has a breadth of content across the board, and it's done it so in a way that they've overlapped the game directly into a way for you, the player, to be able to feel like you're constantly leveling up and contributing. That is not to say that there doesn't feel to be a drop-off point with your leveling where there's like some incentive there for you to be making purchases in game, because clearly it's the same like Netmarble is going to be a free-to-play point where it becomes like a grind for you to get those little incremental levels versus the big hits that you get, in the beginning stages of the game. And I'm kind of at 35. I feel like I'm somewhere already there, to be honest with you, at times. But it definitely feels fun to play a lot of the content inside the game. The Gacha Shop that is inside here is the last thing I'll leave you guys with. And the Gacha Shop is what it is. Like I said, everything in the game centers around your equipment and your familiars. So similar to your companions and stuff like that. Now, your familiars will consistently help you out in battle with their skills. Your equipment levels and the things that you get will change the nature of, how you play the game, because, if I get a 4-star light gear or 4-star red gear or fire, those are going to be really important. There is a pity system, though I'm not really happy with the pity system so much. You can see what the difference is between you get a guaranteed summon of some sort. You have your normal familiar summons. We have this event for this hippocampus right here, looking sucker, and then costumes are obviously important, right? Now, obviously, to me, the major factor in the game is your familiars. Second to only, with your equipment coming probably in a close second. I could be wrong, but like I said, this is my first impression of playing Ni no Kuni. I have seen Ni no Kuni games before, and if you are a fan of Ni no Kuni, you are going to get what you more than expect inside here. I will be dropping some content for you guys so that way you can see other things in there. Now the game's available for you to play on mobile and PC. Netmarble actually has a launcher now for their PC titles, and you can download Ni no Kuni Crossworlds and King of Fighter All-Stars as well in order to play. It's a beta PC launcher, but overall I have to say from the game that I've experienced so far, like, this is not my cup of tea kind of game, and I've probably put in somewhere between 12 to 16 hours of gameplay in here so far, and I'm actually enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to my girlfriend playing the game so that way maybe it'll bring me a little bit more, because there's a lot here, and it's highly beneficial that you get the opportunity to play a game that definitely feels defined and what its mission is, and trying to keep you around to play. Now, whether or not the microtransactions are going to pan out the way I think they're going to pan out, and how bad, good or bad they're going to be, that's a question that I can't give you an answer to in here. If I had to wager a guess, I'm going to imagine the microtransactions are going to get pretty goddamn bad, especially with blockchains and so forth. But like I said, you can look at the shop already and see that the shop's not, fleecing you on entry. The shop is literally trying to do what it should be doing in a mobile, platform game, which is nickel and dime you for items, not fleece you. Okay, so that's Ni no Kuni first impressions. I promise I'm going to give you guys some more content, let you guys see some things that's going on inside here. I'm really looking forward to that. Until next time, guys, peace.